So, hi guys, it's me again. This time on this video, I just want to have a little talk about my experience of going into labour, having my two little boys, and I just think everyone's story is actually really, really amazing. Um, there's just so many different ways of going into labour, giving birth, and the pains. Some people just go through it so easy and just like a shooting ball and just comes out straight away. And then there's other labours and deliveries that just like take for days and days. Thankfully, I never had one of them. I can't really say none of mine were that bad. Like, they were painful, but they were quick. I'll just tell you, and you can think about it yourselves as well. Well, my first one, he was born premature, Leon Paul. He was born 33 weeks. We don't know why he was born so early, but from living on this island as well, it was just because there's no hospitals. People say there's hospitals when you come on holiday here, but to be honest with you, there's a hospital and you can't give birth here. You can't. So, I'm chatting away on about stupid things, but anyway, let's get back to it. Is that, I was on the Wednesday, I remember having lots of pain, but I felt like it wasn't pain, it was like a weird pain, like really down there. It was in like fingers. It sounds funny, but it did feel like fingers, really. So I told one of my friends, and she said to me quickly, go to the doctors just to get checked over and see what's up. So I did, and he told me the baby had moved, which is bad, especially at that stage, because you want the baby to go with his head down at that stage to get ready. When he'd been with his head down all the way, and then he just decided to turn around. So the doctor's problem was, he was thinking that if he does kick me hard, then he can kick the waters. So anyway, he didn't want to leave me here on the island, but he had to go and help another lady give birth in Athens. So he left, but we were talking each day, and I had to go every morning to his office and his place anyway to get like you get the waistband, it gets the waistband, whatever it is, and they measure your pains. And the girl was saying like, you are in labour, but I wasn't in pain as such. It was like period pains, and I'd just be talking to you and I'd have the pain, so you wouldn't say to like, oh my god, it's emergency, let's run. So anyway, Thursday was the same, Friday was the same. When Saturday come, by the night time I was in pain, really, really bad pain. My back was I remember just my back being in so much pain. And I forgot to tell you as well, silly me, is on that Wednesday when I went in and got checked and he told me he was going to Athens and that, he sent me home, and as I was asleep, my other half rang him up and said she's like crying and asleep. So he woke me up and he said, we've got to go to the doctor. So we went to the doctor, and what the baby had done was turned himself around. He'd turned himself around, but bad news, guys. From turning himself around that quick, my womb thought I was going to give birth, like I was going into labour. So it all started, which we didn't know at the time, but the doctor left me on the island. That's one of the reasons he did leave me on the island, said okay, just wait, was because he was back in Place's head. Anyway, back to that. Saturday, I was on the couch in the night time in so much pain, really back pain. Oh, it was horrible. And we rang him up and we were talking to him, but he was actually helping the other lady deliver a baby at the time, and he had his Bluetooth thing and he was talking to me. But he said get the first flight out. But because I couldn't feel nothing going on down there, then we weren't that not concerned. We weren't concerned. We were definitely going to leave for Athens, but we weren't concerned as if to say, oh fuck, let's get the emergency plane out. But anyway, we have got an emergency little plane here on the island. Never been there, don't want to. Touch wood. Where's wood? There's some wood. Touch wood, I won't need to, but anyway, we have got one. Anyway, I'm chatting around, aren't I? Anyway, so we booked for 7 o'clock. I think it was 7 o'clock in the morning on the Sunday to leave. So around 3 o'clock, my other half, Ben, he told me, go to sleep, get as much rest as you can, try and sleep. We're going. So anyway, we set the alarms. He helped me do the case. We got the case ready and we lied down. We took a little nap. And when the alarms went off, fantastically, I felt amazing. The pains had gone. So Ben says to me, shall we not go? But I thought, no, we can't chance it. I was worried about the baby. I was thinking, well, for me to be in all this pain, so my body is telling me something, isn't it? Like the baby's in stress or something's not right anyway. So we left. We went to the airport. We arrived in Athens. Went to the hospital. I was there around 9 o'clock. 9 until about 10:30. I was by myself in one room with another girl, of course. Getting the waistband on me again, and the funniest thing was when the midwife come in, she looked at me and the other lady and she was like amazed, and I was just looking at her like that. What are you looking at me like that for? And she said, turn around and look at the screens. So I turned around and looked at my screen, and my screen, honest to God, was like that. The little lines, it shows your pain on it, was like huge, massive things, and I was just talking normally. And I turned around, the poor girl was screaming all the time anyway, and turned and looked at us and she had these little things. I did feel actually quite proud of myself, but you know, everyone's different, don't they? They take pain in different ways. But yeah, so she got worried then, and she was thinking she's going to have a baby and we won't even know the way she's going. So she called the doctor, my doctor. He arrived and he come and he said, because look, I can see you're okay for the minute, like it's Sundays, so I was in a private hospital. In this private hospital on a Sunday, it's really, really expensive. It's like double the cost of it. So let's go back to my office and we can do all the tests there, and we'll go by then whatever the results come back. So we left with the suitcases. The hospital at about 20 minutes, half an hour drive, maximum half an hour. Gets to his office, he did the examination, and he said, you're only, I think I was about 2 points, 2 measurement, what you call it, underneath. So he just said, you're going to have to go into hospital. It might be in 2 weeks, might be in 3 weeks, but you're going to give birth early. So early, he was thinking, well, what he was saying was at 36 weeks, wasn't it? Because I was 33 and 3 days at this minute. So we left, and actually I did really want to cry my eyes out, because in general, I know everyone hates them, but I hate hospitals. I don't want to stay in a hospital for 2 weeks. I can't even think about staying in a hospital. Like, and going to visit people, I'm fine like that, but thinking of myself being stuck in a hospital now, I just got upset as well, because don't forget, guys, I am living in a foreign country, aren't I? I'm in Greece. None of my family is here. None of my family. Like, I've got my other half. I didn't have any kids at the time. So it was just like my boyfriend, fiance. And it was really scary. I just wanted my mum. You know, you just want your mum. And my sisters. So anyway, we went back to hospital. I just thought, yeah, baby's got to be good. She's got to be healthy. We've got to go in. So while I was standing there, Ben was doing all the paperwork, and as I was just standing there with the case, I just felt loads of tears running down my face, and I started crying. And there's actually a story into this, which I'll tell you on another side anyway, another video next time. There was a little old lady sitting down next to me, she was sitting like in the corner, and she just said to me in Greek, don't cry, my darling, everything's going to be fine. And you know, when someone says that to you, like, they go to you, everything's going to be okay, and for some reason, even if you know deep in your heart then it's not going to be okay, or you're that confused, this woman's words just comforted me so much at that time. It was just, sorry, but oh my God, it was just so amazing the way she could actually just comfort me by saying something like that so quickly. Oh God, look at me crying on the video. Let me just go and wipe my eyes and I'll be back. Hi, so I'm back. Silly arse, yeah. crying my eyes out on the video. But yeah, oh God, what's the stool doing? Swinging around by myself here. Right, yeah, so it was really comforting. Like, she just made me feel fantastic. I was like, yes, come on. Of course, we're going to do this. My little boy is going to be healthy. There's not going to be wrong with him, because it was really, really early, wasn't it? It was like 33 weeks is really early. So yeah, I go in to the doctor where he was waiting for me. And as I go in, the nurse starts like saying all them things to you. She's got to shave you, she's got to do this, she's got to do that, put that blue cloak on. And I was like, what's going on? I'm not wearing that blue cloaky thing with my bum showing for 2 weeks. So I said to him, I'm just going to go out and get my suitcase and put my pyjamas on, my little pinky pyjama, Barbie pyjamas. And he goes, no, you can't, you're going to give birth. Ding! I was like, what? I was like, oh my God, I'm not giving birth now. I'm not in pain. I'm coping. This is not labour. Like, everyone screams in labour. I'm not screaming. And I went into shock, honest to God. I went into shock. I just was like, I must have been just smiling. I was just like, because I was happy because I was going to meet my little boy. Because of that woman as well telling me, and I just felt like I could take on the world. I was like, yeah, we're going to do this. So anyway, so I'm taking ages to say this, like, as well, and like the story is, he takes us in the room, the delivery room. I thought it was the delivery room, which was actually just a side room, and the little nurse comes in, the midwife type thing. And here in Greece, you give birth with your doctor, which is amazing. I love it. I must have been really like spoiled, because on my second birth, what I will tell you about, the labour I had with my second child, Alex, I didn't have him. Like, you have a midwife, don't you, usually? But anyway, I had my Greek doctor, which was amazing, and I love the bones of him, I really do, because through that labour, afterwards, once I got in that room, the pains did get stronger, and like, but I just didn't speak through them. Like, it was just one of them, when we were talking about all funny things, laughing, joking, and then there's me going quiet, going, and they all knew I was going through like one of the contractions. So yeah, but at the very, very end, it was fantastic, all of it. And like at the very end, I just felt like this lovely, the same time I was having a contraction, like I had my eyes closed like that, I felt like this lovely hot water being poured over me down there, and I was like, oh, that's lovely. Like, we've got period pains, and you put a hot water bottle on you, like, oh God, that's soothing. Well, it was something like that. And the doctor says to me, oh, what are you doing? Why are you enjoying that contraction? And I said to him, I just felt really hot water. And he goes, oh no. And he jumps up, looks under the sheet, and says, your waters have just gone, will you leave something for me to do? You're doing everything by yourself. So we were laughing. And 2 minutes later, I had the contraction again. And honest to God, guys, I fucking felt, oh my God. Like, oh my God. It was just, I can't even describe it. I've never broke, touch wood, a bone in my body, but that felt like all my bones were breaking, that last contraction. Anyway, and I'm going to put everyone off, aren't I? Whoever's pregnant, don't be watching this. But yeah, it was a really bad, painful contraction, the end one. And unfortunately, my heart was going into like, what do you call it? Like when it starts to stop. And I was kind of fainting, but for some reason, I felt like my heart had stopped. I couldn't feel. You know, you just go like that. And like now when I'm talking, I can feel my heart. Well, I felt like my heart had stopped. And the first thing I did when I could speak was turn around to the doctor and said, my heart stopped. And I wasn't moving. And he turned me on my side, put my hands under me, like that, and he just said to me, keep speaking to me. So I just kept speaking to him, and it did feel like a long time, but it was only, like he told me, it was only 2 minutes. And he said because I was still talking to him, he didn't really panic. But afterwards, he explained to me, was I was going into, I can't remember what it's called now in English, when your heart goes to start like stopping and everything. So I was going like fainting, passing out, basically passing out I was. So anyway, he took me and like was holding me like that and getting me, and then the last one, after that contraction, he got scared because I was going white and everything. So they pushed me off the trolley, pushed me with the not off the trolley, God help me. They pushed me with the trolley into the delivery area, like the delivery place. It was only a tiny small room, and the funniest thing was, what I haven't even explained before I get to the end of this labour experience, was you're all probably thinking, where was my other half through this experience? Well, before we left that room, that was the room he did come into with me. So once I'd been dressed, like when I got told I was going to give labour, go into labour and everything, give birth, and I put that stupid blue cloak thing on, they took me into that room that I was in just before I was explaining. And he did come in and he'd got washed up. He had the green suit on. He had a green suit, you know, the green like cloak things, green hat thing. I don't know whether he had gloves on. I don't think he had gloves on, but anyway. So he was all prepared. He had them on his shoes and everything, the bags. And you could just say he was not going to get through this, the poor thing. I was not screaming at this minute neither, and he was just like out of it. So he was okay till that point when my contractions were coming and I had to not speak, and like then when I started screaming, the first one I started screaming, he actually did just, he wouldn't have been able to go through it with me. So the nurse comes in anyway, like they do here in Greece, as the form, so you have to fill out the form to say if he fell on the floor, then he knows that they're looking after me at this point. I'm the one who giving labour, so he'll get seen to second done, what you call it, after. It was he fills out this form, and as soon as you see him fill out this form, that is it. There was no like going back. He'd gone white almost. Though he was like white, like a ghost, though, like a ghost. So he's gone white at this stage, okay? He's really white, the poor thing. And I was in so much pain, and when you just stop and realise, and I just thought, I can't concentrate on you, and if something happens to you, I'm going to lose my concentration on giving birth, aren't I? So I just said, go. And he just looked at me as if to say, are you sure? And I was like, go, just go. So he left, and he said he could hear me afterwards. I just felt like, come on, get this baby out. I must have started screaming, which I don't remember. I remember like 2 of those contractions around the ends that I did scream on. I remember that. So it must have been them, because he said he could hear me right outside. Like he'd got outside onto the waiting room and he could hear me, which is quite shameful. But anyway, we don't know them, do we? We don't know who was there. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, anyway, let's get back to what I was saying. They take me into the room, and I'm in labour. It's the baby. You can see the baby. He must have been coming, and this gets me back I must have been dying when felt my heart stopping. And this is not exaggerating, because the doctors told me that my heart was going into, come on, it's coming. I can think of the word. Cardio, oh god, you're all gonna be laughing at me, aren't you? But yeah, was going into that anyway. So when I got into that room, I was like, come on, the baby's coming, let's get him out. So the doctor said to me, come on, one more push. So we get to me, and they put them horrible things on, stupid here in Greece. They are really like back about 20 years anyway. They put you on, like, do you know when you go for your test pap, the test pap where you go and get every like 6 months, but they put your legs up on them things. Well, that's what they had me doing. Poor me, I'm only bloody 20 years of age. I don't know, I've never given birth before. I'm on my own, so I didn't know. I was just going with their waters, weren't I? And yeah, so she put my legs up, don't they, and says, one more push, and I felt the baby come. It was the stinging feeling you get, when you, don't even want to think about it. You get like a really stinging feeling, but I enjoyed it. It wasn't as bad as the other one, the contractions, because I knew he was coming. I could feel him. Like, once you can't feel the baby, you just feel pain. So his head must have been out, and then he says to me, just don't push now, just leave it, don't push. So I wasn't pushing, and then when he said to me, don't push. Remember the feeling I was telling you about that I felt on the Wednesday? Like that. And I thought, oh God, it's horrible. And as I went, I must have went like that and like moved. And it was his legs. He was still in me, he was kicking. So the doctor like got shocked because I moved, and he said you shouldn't have moved. But anyway, he pulled him out. And the horriblest thing is what we didn't actually speak about, what I regret, but I did do it with my second child anyway, was that he cut the cord, he took him away, they cleaned him up, and then they gave him to me, and as I got him in my arms, I'll never forget the feeling you get. Like anyone who's had a baby, it's just amazing. It is just amazing, that feeling you get when they put that little creature, the little thing that grows up to make you so annoyed with it, so happy with it, to love it so much. Just to look at it and think, wow, so you were inside me for 9 months, weren't you? It was amazing. He had a little French manicure on his nails and everything, which I actually felt him scratching me when he was in my tummy. And I used to say, bet you he's got nails, and he did have. And the funniest thing is, I did this to my mum as well. This is what my mum said, was that I come out with nails and she could feel me scratching her while I was in her tummy. But yeah, and then unfortunately, he wasn't amazing though. 2 kilos, 550 kilograms. And he was a good size as well, everything was fine. But because he was so early and premature, they took him away from me. They took him to ICU. And that was hard. That was hard because he left, like after about 10 minutes. They were bloody shouting Ben all for about 20 minutes as well. They couldn't find him because he'd been told I'd given birth. And no, from him seeing me in so much pain and crying, then he was in shock, wasn't he? He was really upset that he couldn't force himself to be with me as well. It's such a special time for us. Then he'd gone outside to calm down, and when he found out I'd given birth, they took the baby, I think, straight out to him, and he saw the baby. No, they didn't see the baby, no. He knew I was giving birth, and at that time when he'd seen me in so much pain, he was outside crying, and he rang his mum, bless him, and he was really sobbing. You know, when men cry, it's like when they be sick, they're just like monsters. They just, oh my God, it's probably because they keep it all inside them, they don't cry like us when we have a little tear or so. So that's building up on them. So when they actually be sick or cry, it's just this monster. It's just so loud and so noisy. He was screaming. Basically, he was screaming. We were walking around the hospital, he said, on the phone to his mum, bless him. And his mum was in Santorini because no one knew I was giving birth. But anyway, so after that, when he got, come back to the hospital, he got to see the baby. His uncle come up to the hospital. He lives in Athens, so he come up and they got to see the baby, but he still hadn't seen me. But he asked, and they said, she's fine, she's okay, you'll see her soon. But they had to keep me in a little room. I did see him before I went into this room. No, I had a quick go and he walked, and it was actually a really special moment for us because even though the baby wasn't with us, the looks in our eyes was just amazing. I just looked at him and I was just like, we did it. We've made our own little person. It was just, amazing. And you could just see his eyes were just full up. I don't know what mine were like, but I just remember I'd worn makeup because I didn't expect to give birth. I'd just been on an airplane coming from Santorini, get to Athens, I had a little examination off the doctor, got told I was going to give birth in 2 weeks, within 2 weeks, and ended up giving birth in that 2 hours. But anyway, this is honestly an amazing story, guys. I don't know what, I'd love to hear all your stories as well, honestly. I just love hearing birth stories. So yeah, and they see the baby, and then when they see me, all that happens. We get all moochy, and then because my fella, he's like that, he just wanted like go away from like the crying and the big sensitive area bit. No, swoosh smooch. And he lifts up like the quilt to see me belly, and he says, "Oh, where's it gone? Your bum's gone." So we started laughing, and then he had to leave because I had to go into the other room, and that's when I had to wait there for 2 hours, like by myself. My doctor, of course, is why I love him. He was right next to me, like not next to the bed, but he was by the office waiting around with me, kept checking up on me. Bless him, because I had diabetes throughout my pregnancy with me first. I said to him as soon as I gave birth, the first thing I wanted is chocolate. He'd remembered and he got me a box of chocolates, but I just felt so ill. I couldn't eat them at all. I felt like I was going to be sick. So I did try and sleep and everything, but I didn't get any sleep. Like I was saying about my eyes, what I was saying about when I had makeup on, my fella's eyes were lovely and watery and shiny, but sorry to say, I had mascara and everything, didn't I? So I was like a clown. My mascara had reached down here from giving birth, from crying, from from screaming and everything. Oh God. Everyone was like, "Oh, what's happened to your makeup?" I was like, "Yeah, I've just given birth." But after the 2 hours of waiting there, I get took up. The doctor leaves because he was tired as well. He gets off, and I give birth. The time was when I give birth was 3:15 in the afternoon to my little boy. So at 4:15, 5:45, 5:15, 5:30, I was sent up to the ward, and I was expecting, to be honest with you, this might hurt my other half hearing this as well, but I don't want him to feel sad about or like he's failed, but I was waiting for what I would have had in England. Like I would have had my family around, I would have had everyone waiting like to congratulate me, I would have had flowers, I would have had balloons, I would have had a lot of things waiting for me, and I get up to the room and he wasn't even there. He was down with his uncle outside, probably smoking or whatever. And so I went up to a ward where there was 2 other women with the husbands and the babies, and I was alone with no one, not even the baby, or a balloon, for God's sake, nothing. Anyway, so the lovely man of another woman who was in there, his husband, said, "Do you want to use my phone?" So I said, "Yes, please." So I used the phone, and I rang him and said, "Get your bum up here," and went back in the room. So he did come up, and he brought me a little teddy bear and that, so yeah, that was nice. And then the doctor had come in to check, and he said, the midwife as well, she said, I don't think she was a midwife, I don't know whether the midwife's the girls who look after you on the ward. But anyway, she come in and she said, you're best going down to see the baby tomorrow because you've been through a lot. We've got to do all tests on to make sure you're okay, your blood tests, everything. You won't be able to get up because you've lost a lot of blood. But I just said okay and that, and I did get up. I was about 5:30. I got up about an hour later, had a shower, and the midwife, the nurse anyway, she was saying, "Don't get up." We like, "Okay, if you want to go," because I did have a go at her. Like I was like, "No, I'm getting up. I can't stay in this. I've had to give birth. For God's sake, I want to have a shower. The way I am, don't take no for nothing. I have to do what I want to do." Gets up, and she says to me, "Well, I'm gonna have to come in with you in case you fall." I'm like, "Okay, I've given birth, and like people have seen me bits and bobs," but I was like, "No, you're okay. I'll take the other half in." So she said, "Okay, if he's there by you," but I didn't even let him because you've given birth, your belly's all wobbly, and it was horrible. It was like my womb was wobbling about like a piece of jelly. It was horrible. So yeah, I didn't let him come in either. I just like had him by the door like a doorman, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I had my shower, and then this was all getting done because I was going down to see my little boy, but everyone was saying I couldn't go down because it was too far and that, and I've been through too much. But I took no for nothing, didn't I? Just got myself in that lift with Ben, and we went down to the ICU department, and as we were coming out the lift, I think it just all got too much like for me, and I remember going really, really dizzy, and I just quickly sat down, and I didn't want to tell him nothing. He kept walking, so I didn't say nothing, but he turned around and saw me, and I said, "Oh, don't say nothing," shh. And he understood what was wrong, and we went in and saw this beautiful little blonde baby, you know, because here in Greece, a lot of, like, majority of the babies and people are all, like, dark-skinned, olive-skinned, nice brown hair, brown eyes, and this lovely little baby. He was quite big, you know. His head was in my... He was like a newborn, honestly. He was really skinny, though, to be honest with you, but his size, he was tall and long. His head was in my palm, and, like, his legs go here, so he was a good size. I can't actually remember the length at the moment, but yeah, the only thing that was sad was because he had, you know, they have the tubes, don't they, and things in them, and it was really upsetting seeing him like that and just wanting to hold him. So, God, I'm gonna have myself crying again. Yeah, so we saw him. I held his hand. I'm crying again, aren't I? I'm gonna need about 100 tissues here, aren't I, going through this story? It's only my first one and I haven't finished. Oh God. Anyway, yeah, so we go in, we see him. And yeah, he was, you know, how they are in the little boxes, incubator things. It was hard. It was hard. But anyway, let's get through that. We got through it. He's fantastic now. He stayed in. He was in there for 2 days, and then he was getting ready to move to the room, which is not ICU. It's where it's like the last night for them, and they're just checking to make sure they're okay. They don't need nothing else, and they can leave 1 or 2 nights to stay there. And he turned through the night. We were all excited because the night time they told us that tomorrow you're probably going to take him home. Or no, you're not going to take him home. Oh, yeah, on the Monday, the day after I'd given birth, my doctor had told me that because in Greece you stay for 4 days in hospital, the women stay 4 days. So on the Thursday I would have been getting discharged, and he said, stay because you'll be taking the baby home with you. So that's the reason why I stayed, because I was fine. I got up and everything, I was walking around, and like I said at the start, I hate hospitals. So, I agreed and said I was going to stay in. So I didn't discharge myself, but we did do a piece of paper, and the doctor signed and said if I ever wanted to leave, I was okay to leave, because there was nothing wrong with me after all the tests coming back. So, we went down on the Monday, saw him, and on the Tuesday, they said, yeah, so Wednesday, Thursday, he'll be fine to leave. So we go home, and we were planning, you know, one more day and he'll be out. And unfortunately, we went back Wednesday morning, all happy, hoping maybe we'd be able to get him home that day, but definitely we'd be able to get him home on the Thursday, the next day. Getting told that through the night he'd gone blue while feeding, but at this time he hadn't been feeding off me. He wasn't having my breast milk yet. He was having the formula, you know, the powder, what they have. Which I do think is one of the reasons he struggled. I think breast milk is amazing, and I will make a video about this in the future, about breastfeeding and breast milk, because with my second child, he's 3 in a month's time, and I am still, in 2 months' time, and I am still breastfeeding. It's just amazing what the breast milk does for you and your kid. But yeah, so we couldn't take him home. We couldn't take little Leon home. So this was a big slap in the face. Hopefully this next bit, what I want to tell you about, what I've just remembered, what I hadn't told you, I don't need a blood tissue again, because this was one of the hardest bits for me. Was on the Sunday night when my fella left me, went home at 9 o'clock to have a pizza. He was dying to have a pizza from Pizza Hut, because we haven't got Pizza Hut on the island here in Santorini. He left, and I was left there with the 2 women, and the 2 women had their gorgeous little baby girls. They had 2 little girls, and my baby wasn't there, and all through the night the baby was waking up. I didn't even have a tummy. That was the worst thing. You see all these mums, and after birth they've still got a bump. I never had a bump, guys. Nothing. Ask whoever you want, I can put out. I may try and find a picture and show you a picture. I did not have a bump after this. Like, it just disappeared, honestly. So it was hard. I think that was one of the reasons I did get like a lot of the symptoms of blue depression, what you get after having the baby, which I will of course do a video about that as well in the future. A few months later we found out that I was possibly going through blue depression, but I think this was a lot to do with how I'd give birth, what I went through, what happened, and so on and so on. Anyway, what was I going to say? Then the baby actually stayed in for 11 days altogether in the hospital. He left that day we went in, and they said, yeah, tomorrow. But I remember three days, I'm gone. Every day we go in, the poor little boy had needles, you know when they get fed and they take blood from them, they've got needles everywhere. He had needles in his neck, he had needles in his little foot, in his arms. They can't even speak, can they? The poor babies, they can't tell you they're in pain. So I remember like one of the last days, he had it in his head, and one in his arm, and I remember going in his arm, it was bruised, it was big, like swollen. And I just went to bed and shout one of the nurses right now, like that scouts were coming out in me. And she come over and I said, what, is that in his arm? Get it removed now. I don't care what it's there for and what you've got to say for it. Move it now. And she must have knew, or it might have possibly been a mistake anyway, and she did take it out straight away and put it in his leg. Anyway, so after 11 days, like the 10th or the 9th day, went into that room, the last room what you go into, and we got to hold him. And my other half, he was just so, first time dad of course as well, it's harder for the dads I think. He was just so shy in front of everyone else because you're with all the other mums and dads as well. It's scary. You have to clean yourself all up before you go in and hold them. So they make you like worried and scared anyway. So yeah, anyway, on the 11th day his mum had arrived, I think around the 9th or 10th day. So she come with us on the 11th. And we picked up our little Leon from the hospital, which was amazing. We took him back to Ben's auntie's in Athens. And we stayed there for, I think it was more than a week, like a week or 10 days, to make sure if he needed anything, we would be close to a hospital, and he was fine. But unfortunately, what I will include in my breastfeeding video in the future is here in Greece, we did go to a little thing, what they were telling one of the mornings in the hospital, which was free, and you go down and listen. But they never told me that, they don't say it, when your baby has been in ICU and he hasn't been latched onto you and it's been drinking your milk from the bottles, that you can put the baby back on and get the latching going, and you can get him to latch back and know to eat and be able to, and this will get your milk back in. I didn't get told any of this, and so 2 months, he breastfeeded for about 3 months, which I will go into more detail into the next video about breastfeeding. So that's my birth and labour story about my Leon Paul, my first, who's actually turning 8 this year, and I was 20 when I gave birth to him. God, that makes me feel old. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it helps. I don't know, it won't help you in words like help you, but open your minds up a little bit more. I hope it didn't scare any pregnant women. I hope you're not scared, ladies. Everyone's body is completely different. Everyone has their own little stories, amazing stories. So just a tip from me, okay, to all you girls that are pregnant or wanting to get pregnant or whatever, don't plan 100% what you want your labour or your birth to go like. It's not a program, it's not a plan. It's good to have a plan. It's good to know what you want. It's good, all that is good, but don't feel like what you are planning out, that's what's going to happen, okay? Because every single minute of your labour and the birth of your child is going to change differently It's never, it could get worse, it could get better. I hope everyone's babies come out healthy. I hope the birth, the labours and the contractions are not painful. Just keep that in mind. So you just don't get upset, that's what I mean. Like, it could come out better, it could come out worse. Like, I had a lovely thing about my giving birth to my kid, but it didn't happen. He got took away from me, he went to ICU. But on the good side, he didn't have nothing wrong with his lungs. He was perfect. He stayed in for 11 days, but he's fantastic. He's fantastic. He's complete. Oh, he's my world. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Good luck. Congratulations to all of you who are pregnant and waiting for you, or have given birth, whatever. And hopefully see you again soon. Subscribe, please. Don't forget, to my channel. And if you've got any questions, I'll be glad to make a video and help you out with any of your questions. Bye.